Behold, in this box is the new Wouxun KG-XS20H. And this is the new Hams Radios version of the very popular KG-XS20G GMRS radio. However, one big difference between this and the very popular GMRS version of this radio is that this one is unlockable through a simple procedure known by us radio experts as finger banging, which I will discuss more momentarily. And it is the unlockability of this radio that makes it very desirable to those that understand the value of having an unlocked two-way radio. The price for the new Wouxun KG-XS20H is currently $199 of monies. However, that is the pre-tariff cost, as this is the first batch of these new radios from China before the MAGA started to kick in, and the next boatload will probably not be so lucky. So if you want one of these at this price, if they are even ever available again after this boatload sells out, you had better act fast, because in case you have not been following along with recent political developments, if you snooze, you lose. So do not come back here and leave stupid comments whining that you can't get one because it's sold out or the price went up. Anyway, for your clicking pleasure, I will put an affiliate link to this radio in the information section of this video below. And yes, my friends at buytwowayradios.com did send me this radio at no cost so that I could share it with anyone that watches this video. And yes, I will be giving away this radio to a lucky viewer, not in this video, but in a separate giveaway video coming soon. Before I go any further, I should point out that the radio of which I am about to review for you is a Hams Radios. And in the past, I have received a lot of hate and anger, and I have seen a lot of rage posted in the comments by some people because I do not have a Hams Radios license, and I dared to speak about a Hams Radios on YouTube. But I now have this, which gives me just as much right to talk about this Hams Radios on YouTube as anyone else. So when you purchase the new Wouxun KG-XS20H, in the box you will receive a user manual, 102 pages long and written in perfect American English, as one would expect, because even though this radio is assembled by the soft, supple hands of innocent children in the slave labor camps of China, it is sold by buytwowayradios.com, which is based right here in the heart of these United States, in the state of Carolina. You will receive a mounting bracket, microphone clip holder, spare fuse, and various assorted screws and nails and such. You will receive a power cable. One end goes into the pigtail that comes off of the radio. The other ends connect to your DC power source. You will receive another power cable. This end, just like the previous one, goes into the pigtail coming off the radio. This end can plug into the standard 12-volt cigarette lighter that you find in most vehicles. You will receive a microphone. On the front, you will find various control buttons and switches, of which I will discuss more momentarily. On the side, you will find a push-to-talk trigger and a programmable button. On the top, you will find a volume control, which controls the volume of the hand microphone speaker, not the entire radio. Transmit and receive LED indicator lights. And at the other end of the wire, you will find this kind of plug to plug into the radio. And you will receive the Wouxun KG-XS20H 20-watt Hams Radios radio. On the front, you will find a volume control knob, a hole for the previously mentioned microphone, various control buttons for operating and programming the radio, a power button, and a channel change knob. On the top, you'll find a speaker, and on the rear, you will find a hole for an external speaker, a covered RJ45 jack for connecting to your computing device. I will discuss that more momentarily, and a standard SO239 type connector for connecting to your antenna. As you may have already noticed, this radio is relatively small, measuring in at this big, by that big, by this big. And the chassis is not made of plastic like many lesser radios. It is made of a highly metallic metal, which, because this radio has no internal fan to suck in dust and bugs, the metallic metal acts as a heat sink. This means that the chassis will warm up if you like to listen to yourself talk a lot, but let not your heart be troubled if the chassis gets hot, because verily I say unto you, it is all part of the grand plan for this radio. As you might have guessed, this radio is made to be used in your vehicle, but it also works great as a base station, and to do that all you need is a big antenna and a 13.8 volt DC power source. For electrical power, I am using one of the power supplies also from buy2aradios.com, and I will put an affiliate link to their selection of DC power supplies in the information section of this video below. This radio is not a super heterodyne type design. This is a homodyne type radio, and I know this will be a deal breaker for some people, but all of the regular people will not care, nor will they notice any difference. This radio can listen to 2 different channels or frequencies at the same time. However, for those of us that suffer from hyperconfoccularity, that option can be very easily turned off so that it listens to only 1 channel at a time. And to do that, you simply squish the TDR button thusly. And the radio has a very sexy voice to talk to you when you're lonely.
2, 3, 4, 5.
This is a hams radios, and out of the box it can transmit on the 1.25 meter, 2 meter, and 70 cm hams radios bands. Additionally, this radio can receive anything from 136 to 175 MHz, 222 to 225 MHz, and 400 to 479 MHz. It can also receive commercial FM radio, the NOAA weather channels, and NOAA weather alerts. As you can probably already see with your very own ocular fluid gel bags, this radio has a fairly large and easy to read color screen with different changeable color themes, and you can adjust the screen brightness. And the radio, I almost forgot. I hope I haven't forgotten how to do this right. On the microphone, you will find that the buttons are big enough for even the meatiest of sausage fingers to mash. They aren't giant like on one of those phones that you buy for grandma, but they are large enough for most metabolically healthy humans to be able to use without complaint. And although you probably will not be able to see it on the YouTubes, the buttons light up so that you can concentrate on them better whilst programming it at night while you are driving. And the built-in speaker is loud enough for even the most manly of vehicles, like my very manly but noisy Jeep. You can do virtually all of the setup and programming directly on the radio using the aforementioned buttons on the microphone, or you can use the free Wouxun Ocean programming software. However, if you choose to use the software, you will also need a cable, such as this, to interface to your computing device, which will cost you about $16 of monies. Affiliate link below. The software is easy to use, and it allows you to very quickly and easily add channels, custom channel names, program all of the programmable buttons, screw up all of the advanced settings, and even set a custom screen message. The software is made for the Windows, but as you can see, it runs just fine on my Mac through Parallels. And yes, just like all quality high-end hams radios, this radio does have a Roger beep. And the one feature of this radio that makes it very, very desirable to many people, and the only reason I am even making this video about this radio, is that it is unlockable. This means that once unlocked, it is no longer locked into transmitting only on the hams radio's frequencies, and it can transmit on other frequencies. For example, GMRS frequencies. Allow me to demonstrate, and before I unlock this radio on camera, allow me to point out to some people that unlocking a two-way radio is not illegal, nor does unlocking a radio violate any FCC's rules, regulations, or guidelines. However, transmitting on an unlocked radio on out-of-band frequencies is a different story. But based on the record of the FCC's enforcements over the last 15 years, even the FCC's does not really seem to care. So to unlock the new Wouxun KG-XS20H, first power off the radio, and whilst the radio is in the powered off mode, press and hold number 2 on the microphone keypad whilst simultaneously powering on the radio. Thusly, when prompted for the password, enter 1445. And the radio is now unlocked, and it will stay unlocked even after you turn it off and on, reprogram it, or do whatever. It is now in the unlocked mode, and it will want to remain that way. However, should you begin to suspect that the FCC's is planning a 3 a.m. no-knock raid on your home for operating an unlocked radio, you can very quickly destroy the evidence and relock the radio by holding down the number 1 button on the keypad whilst simultaneously powering it on, hopefully before they shoot your dog. And yes, this is the same unlock procedure as on many Wouxun Ocean radios, so there is no need to try to impress us all by leaving a stupid comment letting everybody know. And I should also point out that just because this radio can transmit on GMRS frequencies when it is in the unlocked state, this does not make it a GMRS radio. And that is because unlike a GMRS radio, on this radio you will have to program all of the GMRS frequencies yourself, all of the repeater splits, power levels, bandwidth, everything. The box says that this radio outputs up to 20 watts of RF electricities, so let's test that. In the 1.25 meter band, as you can see, it is outputting just over 15 watts. In the 2 meter band, it is outputting just over 19 watts. On the 70 cm band, it is outputting just under 20 watts. And in the GMRS range, it is outputting just over 15 watts. And in case you were wondering, the FARs on this radio are exactly the same as every other 20-watt mobile GMRS or hams radios, making the Wouxun KG-XS20H a very nice, fairly easy to use, and currently not very expensive radio, perfect for using at home or in your vehicle for shit-hit-the-fan use or for making contacts with anonymous men.